Log entry, star date 43. Another rotation, another billion stars. Orion sighed, slumping in his chair. They just sit there. Below them, the planet Earth spun like a beautiful blue marble. You're looking too far away, his older sister Lyra said, her eyes sparkling. The real stories are right down there. Lyra tapped a console, and the view screen zoomed in with incredible speed. The blue oceans and green lands rushed past until a long, jagged chain of mountains covered the screen. "Whoa," Orion whispered. "What are those?" "Those are the Andes Mountains in a country called Peru," Lyra said, "and hidden among those peaks is one of Earth's greatest mysteries." She expertly manipulated the controls, diving the view between two cloud-wreathed mountains. Suddenly, the clouds cleared. Perched on a high ridge between the two peaks was a breathtaking city made of stone, its walls and terraces clinging to the mountainside. "It can't be," Orion gasped, pressing his face to the screen. "Who would build a city in the clouds?" "The Inca people, about 600 years ago," Lyra said. "This is Machu Picchu. For centuries, the world didn't even know it was here. And there are so many questions. Why did they build it? And where did they all go?" "Let's find out," Lyra said, her fingers dancing across the console. Initiating historical simulation. The observatory walls shimmered and dissolved, replaced by the crisp mountain air and the sounds of a bustling construction site. They were standing on a holographic ledge, watching hundreds of Inca workers quarrying enormous granite stones from the mountainside. "But they don't have any iron tools," Orion said, confused. "They didn't need them," Lyra explained. "They used harder stones and bronze tools to shape the granite. But the real magic is how they fit them together." The simulation zoomed in on a wall, showing how each stone was cut to fit perfectly with the ones around it, like a giant puzzle. "How did they even get these giant blocks up here?" The scene shifted to show teams of men chanting in unison as they used log rollers and thick ropes to haul a massive stone block up a steep earthen ramp. "With incredible teamwork and engineering," Lyra said. The simulation moved forward in time. The city was complete. They stood on the edge of a vast series of descending stone steps built into the mountain. "These are the farming terraces," Lyra explained. "The Inca were master farmers, able to grow crops like potatoes and corn on the steep slopes." They walked into the city itself. The holographic streets were filled with people. Women in brightly colored textiles were weaving, men returned from the fields, and children played in the plazas. "This was a living city," Lyra whispered, "home to more than 1,000 people." A grand procession entered the main plaza. A man adorned with gold and brilliant feathers was carried on a golden litter. "Who is that?" Orion asked. "The Sapa Inca," Lyra replied. "The emperor. Machu Picchu was likely his royal estate, a place to relax and rule from." Lyra pointed to the most finely constructed building. That was the royal residence. Only the emperor and his family could enter. They looked at the beautiful stonework, imagining the life of a king in the clouds. They moved to a higher part of the city, where temples stood open to the sky. "This was the religious heart of the city," Lyra said, gesturing to a curved, elegant stone tower. "That is the Temple of the Sun. Its window aligns perfectly with the sun during the winter solstice." In the center of the highest point was a single, carved pillar of stone. "This is the Intihuatana stone," Lyra said. Orion reached out a holographic hand to touch it. Its name means hitching post of the sun. They used it as a calendar to mark the changing seasons. They explored another temple, uniquely shaped with a stone carving on the floor resembling a great bird with outstretched wings. The Temple of the Condor, Lyra identified. The condor was a sacred animal to the Inca, representing the heavens. Suddenly, the holographic people vanished. The vibrant city became silent and empty. A chill wind seemed to blow through the stone streets. "Where did everyone go?" Orion asked, his voice echoing in the quiet. "That," Lyra said softly, "is the biggest mystery of all." One theory is that the people left because the Inca Empire was collapsing, Lyra explained. The simulation showed images of Spanish soldiers in metal armor arriving in South America. The Spanish conquered the Inca, but they never found this city. It was so well hidden. Another possibility is disease, Lyra continued. The Europeans brought new sicknesses that the Inca had no defense against. It's possible the population of Machu Picchu was wiped out before the Spanish even got close. The simulation fast-forwarded. Green vines and thick jungle plants began to creep over the stone walls. The city slowly disappeared, swallowed by the forest. For almost 400 years, Lyra said, Machu Picchu was lost to the outside world, a secret kept by the mountains. The date on the simulation display changed to 1911. They saw a man in an explorer's hat, an American named Hiram Bingham, being led up the mountain trails by a local boy. He wasn't the first to see it, Lyra said, but he was the first to tell the world about it. They watched as Bingham and his team began to clear the jungle growth. Slowly, miraculously, the stone city re-emerged from beneath the leaves and vines, its genius and beauty revealed to the modern world once more. The simulation faded, and they were back in the quiet of the observatory, the real Machu Picchu a tiny, perfect jewel on the screen below. "Wow," Orion said, his voice full of wonder. "A secret city, lost and found again." Orion looked back at the full view of their home planet, spinning silently below. He saw the Andes, a tiny wrinkle on the surface, and thought of the incredible city hidden within them. "It's not just a blue marble," he said quietly. "It's a giant mystery box." Lyra came and stood beside him, putting an arm around his shoulder. "And we've only just peeked inside," she said. "There are thousands of years of stories down there, waiting to be discovered." Together, they watched the world turn, a sphere of infinite mysteries,